Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Interlocking Loops Flosstube. I'm your host Angela. It's actually Sunday, January 16th, 2022. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. It's starting to get a little bit darker outside. We had quite a bit of snow a couple days ago, so the sky is kind of a white gray and the ground is pretty much all white. I haven't heard how much snow we had, but we were supposed to get at least 9 inches, so everything has a little lacking a little bit of color outside. The good part is I've got bird feeders to each side of me out the different windows, and I can see a variety of birds eating at the bird feeders. That gives us a little bit of color. Anyway, I thought I'd take a little bit of time to talk about works in progress and plans for 2022, which are not set in stone by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought we'd just kind of go over a few things. Alright, so I thought I'd start with some things that are a little bit older, that still are unfinished, much to my dismay. Caroline Behringer from Summerhouse Stitchworks. I started this one a year ago, this last fall, and I stitched very little on it since. I do hope to get it finished. It's my first time at working on something other than Ada. And it's a 28 count even weave, and I picked my own colors for this project, and here it is so far. It's got lots of different scripts going from the light pinks, the light yellows don't show up real well, but I've got a good part of it started. I just need to keep working on with the project. So that's something that I hope this year to get more progress on. Another one that is not finished that I started on is Patriotic Poppies by Brenda Gervais of With Thy Needle and Thread. I thought these were just adorable. If you remember, I have decided to change a few things about this. I've changed the length of the wagon, so there's fewer flowers. I'm not doing the alphabet portion. And I think in trying to make some of those changes, it kind of bogged me down a little bit and actually making some progress. This is on, I believe, 16 count, coffee tea dyed Ada, 2 strands over 1. And this is as far as I have been able to get. So there, that's a pretty accurate representation of the fabric itself up against white. And that should definitely get finished this year. Okay, another one from this fall that I really like. I just ran out of time to work on it, it seemed like. I started getting into some more knitting, a little bit of quilting, and time just flew away. It's by the Blue Flower. It's Acorns. I've loved this since it came out, and I don't know, I just like Acorns. I love the little squirrels that's in it as well. Who doesn't like a good squirrel? Especially if they're not taking food from the bird feeder. This is on, I believe, 16 count, 2 threads over 2, called for colors on Ivory Ada. It's hard to tell a whole lot of color, but it's up against white, so there is some. There's cute little squirrels, adorable acorns. So I didn't get real far with this project, but I really did enjoy what I did work on, so hopefully this year will see me do more with that. Then there's a few I talked about last time we got together, and I'm still working. I thought I'd get more done, but my attention has been on another project I'll show you here shortly. The Glitter Village set. There's 9 pieces to the entire Glitter Village, all kind of in pastels. This is fabric by Bestitch Me. I believe it's a 18 count, I think. One of their opalescent, So it's kind of that gray purple that the sky gets as is kind of at dusk in the wintertime. That's what it reminded me of. And I'm doing one floss over one. Oh, I think it's really pretty. So I have a third of it finished. I'm doing all 9 pieces in one. And I had thought by this time I'd have most of the next row finished. But I've been caught up by another project that I'm really, really enjoying. And I'm trying to tell myself this year's a year of less working on things because you feel like you should. And I'm trying to go toward more working on things like I feel the urge to work on, to want to do those, and kind of just go with that energy. So let's look at the thing that's been taking up my cross stitching. All the cross stitching I've done since Christmas Eve has been Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais of With Thy Needle and Thread. And I know a lot of you have seen this, Winter Rose Manor. I like it when Flosstubers show the title in case they talk a little bit quick, which I tend to do that. That's a pink house. How great is a pink house? I love it. I have varied some of the floss colors from what was recommended. Instead of using conch for the house, I'm actually using Meredith's pink. I do have to take a break on it coming up pretty soon because I don't have all the called for flosses, and as soon as I run into where those are needed, I'll have to pause just a little bit. This is on some coffee tea dyed Ada that I also dunked in blue Rit dye. You can see my progress on Instagram. I did post a picture just yesterday. And I've got part of the border done. I've got most of the bottom border completely finished. And I've got some of the Meredith's pink down here on the house. I haven't finished the snow. I kind of get stuck on one thing, like I did the windows the other day. And then I went ahead and finished up the trees this morning. And then I worked on the border coming across the bottom. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but I do like the next section of border. And it's in the same kind of pink and burgundy colors up the side. That may be what I do next. And the colors I actually use for those are Baked Apple and, let me look here quick. Baked Apple by Weeks Dye Works. I've got them on a floss ring, but it looks like a mess right now. And another by Weeks Dye Works is the darker color, and it's crimson. I'll see if I can hold these up a little bit next to the white background so you can kind of see. So the Baked Apple is a little bit lighter color, and the crimson is the darker color. And I think those make, I think they look really nice together. So those are some of the changes I made, and I'm really happy with it. And I stitched enough on it today. I need to do something else a little bit with my time to be more productive in another area too. But when you're hitting on a good thing, what can you do but just carry on? The last thing I started here recently that hasn't seen any work since I talked about it when we had the last video is the 12 Days of Stitchy Ornaments from Erica Arndt. Remember all these cute little patterns. I'm working on this one here. It hasn't got any more work on it, but I hope to get a few more done. And those will be super fast. It's just a matter I need to set down this Winter Rose Manor for just a little bit. I thought I'd talk a little bit about other things I wanted to do this year. And I'm going to start off by some things that are seasonal. And Sweater Weather, which is by the Housewives, Stitching with the Housewives, Priscilla and Chelsea. I did a fall one with the fox earlier in the fall, if you remember. But this one, isn't he adorable? I hope to get that started here pretty soon before the snow is gone. And then a wee one by Heart and Hand. Oh, I think Heart and Hand does some of the most beautiful Valentine's ones. Their hearts and stuff, I just love it. And this should also be a fairly quick one. Then I'd hoped to do this, to work on this one before Christmas, and never got around to it. By Plum Street Samplers, Jack's Sweet Shop, Marry You. And it's got Christmas trees and a couple sheep. And as you know, I have sheep at my house. Over the last few weeks, we've started having lambs, and it's a very exciting time. We've got more girls than boys so far, so that's good. I don't really care, but I feel like maybe the herd will grow a little bit more if I have more girls than boys. Then another one by Plum Street Samplers in Jack's Sweet Shop, Shepherd's Pie. This is another one that I think will be fairly quick to do. You've got your shepherdess and her sheep. So, yes, it struck a chord. No wonder I bought that, right? And then another one that I finished part of it and wanted to do more is by The Flea Market Flowers by Lori Holt. Try to get it out of the plastic so you can see it. Flea Market Flowers. So lots of different things here, and I know a lot of people do the whole entire thing. I'm picking out parts of it to do. And I actually, the first one I did on, I believe, 16 count Ada. And it's ivory. So there's one section. Now I'm going to make all these little, small little pillows, and they'll be all in one design. I actually ordered some 10 count ivory Ada from Fat Quarter Shop just today, because I hope to be making some of the single motifs. You know, maybe this one in the center to make it a bigger pillow overall for more of an impact in a bowl. I like this one too. Of course, what do you not like about that? So, while I have enough made to finish one pillow, I hope to do a few more pillows this year. That's some of my plans. Now, I have a few things I've been doing parts of for the last couple of years, and I want to do more, and I just can't decide which one to do next. Little House Needleworks has spring ABCs, autumn, summer. I did winter last year. Here's the spring one. It's a long, narrow piece. And yet again, there's houses in there. I love stitching houses and barns. Then there's the summer ABCs. It's harder to tell. There's watermelon, another house, some apples. It's part of this one. I'm trying to keep the glare down a little bit. And these are very gratifying because you can get, sitting in the evening watching television, you can get quite a bit done and work your way down. And this is the autumn ABCs, Autumn Schoolhouse. So I'm not sure which one of those I'm going to try to get done this year, but maybe it's the spring one. It's got little cute bunny rabbits on it. I mean, how cute is that? So that's something I hope to get done this year, further progress on it. I also have a series I've been working on the last 2 Stitch Manias, the Square Dance Heart and Hand patterns, and I have just 3 left of that whole set of 12. We've got October, November, and December. The Christmas ornaments, some pineapples, and some owls. And these are easy to do in just a night or two, and are a great thing to put on your Stitch Mania list of something to get done fast. But then once I finish those, I'll have the whole series of that actually completed. Hope to be able to finish those all the same way. So I haven't actually fully finished anything because I want them to be interchangeable. Alright, then I've been working on Brenda Gervais Wordplay. I have all of them. I have 2, 4, 6 left that I haven't got finished. June is one of them. I have, I think, June, July, August, September, October, November to do. I've done the rest of them. And for example, June. These make cute pillows about that size. Has summertime, catching fireflies, lemonade, ladybugs, Flag Day. and another little house. These are also very rewarding to do over the span of a week, to pick out some of the motifs or some of the words, because words go fairly quick. I tend to pick out my own floss colors on those. And when you've done several Brenda Gervais pieces, you kind of have some of what seem to be her fallback colors of flosses, and once you have them, you have some leftovers you can easily use. The July one has a sailboat, a crab, talks about a day at the beach, which is cute too. August talks about bees, thyme, bee skep, watering can. And you could find all these at her online shop, Stitches, what is it, Country Stitches Online, to find those. I couldn't find them in any store, per se. This one is September, talks about apples to the teacher, reading, going back to school, writing, that kind of a theme. These would be fun to interchange in a basket, a seasonal display. Then there's October. We've got a little bitty witch. We've got some cute pumpkins. Aren't those pumpkins adorable? And the last one is November. This looks a little bit dark. We've got cornucopia, another pumpkin. That's a turkey. That's hard to tell on screen, but that's a turkey. So, and that's all I have left of those. I finished all the rest of them. So, am I going to get all of them done this year? No. You'll be seeing some of them next year too. But I hope to get a few of them done. So, those are things I just keep trekking along. It's interesting, as I've gotten older, you know, when you're younger, you think, oh gosh, time, it seems like it takes forever. And, I don't know, it seems like as I've gotten older, I realize if I don't get it done this year, there's always next year. And it seems like I dread some parts of the year for weather. And I think, you know, actually every day has the same amount of hours in it. And overall, the whole year seems to go a lot quicker. I feel like 21 went really fast. 22, I'm sure, will do the same. And then on to a couple other things I'd hoped to maybe start. One of which I hope to get started before Christmas and get it finished. Well, I guess we know that's going to be this year. By Primitive, let's see. Abby Rose Designs Primitive Merry Christmas Pillow. I've liked this for a couple of years now. And a nice little pin keep pillow. That'll be one that'll get done this year. I really feel certain about that. And then I did buy the floss and the pattern for one of the Stitching with the Housewives into All a Good Night patterns. I have a lot of their patterns, and who knows what ones I'll actually do through the year, but yes, houses again, right? So I adore that. The thing you might have noticed isn't here, talking about all this, is actually anything by Blackbird Designs. I cannot make up my mind what should be toward the top of that list. I have several of their patterns. It's going to probably, I would say, more spring to summer type stitching as far as picking a pattern. Just because I think they have a lot of blues and taupe type colors. And I have a cat that may decide he wants to help us here shortly. But a lot of those will go in my living room, and I know as I look around the living room now, I look forward to stitching some of those Blackbird Designs, and I'll let you know as I start them. That'll be maybe a surprise to both of us. But they have some beautiful patterns, and there's so many more things I want to do as a creative pursuit than even I showed today, between the quilting and the knitting and the crochet and the sewing. But one must start somewhere and kind of make some kind of plans. I do have a new planner. I'm hoping to get some of this stuff down, as unlike last year having definitive things I absolutely wanted to get going, I have more, it's looser this time, more suggestions, and doing things that are certainly more enjoyable. And boy, I'm looking forward to it. And I can't wait till I get It's Winter Rose Manor done. This is going to be gorgeous, you guys. One big pink house. I just love it. Anyway, stitching on Ada, I haven't found any difficulty with doing that. For those of you that are wondering about that, I know we see a lot of people doing that on linen. Whoops. And that's the cat trying to help me. I think for now, that's probably all we'll do for today. And I'll try to set my stuff back, and we'll check in about 2 more weeks. Until then, happy crafting. Bye-bye.